Greetings, it's Ian from RTO here. Welcome to Marathon Day. It's Wednesday and there's a little bit of a twist. Now, with all these bands coming in on the laundry list, now and again we get a bunch of bands, artists that only have 12 albums. So they're sometimes a little bit too long to do for a normal ranking, and one short of a proper marathon. So when I've got enough, I tend to do a month. So these are what we call the Christmas dozens, and they are all requests. People have asked for every band that is featured in the next 3 weeks, because there's only 3 more weeks of actual normal sort of schedule videos. So we're going to kick off with a German heavy metal hard rock band founded in Karlsruhe in 1987, and they're called Pink Cream 69. Now, if you follow Halloween, you will know that this band was actually formed by Andy Derry, who went on to replace Michael Kursk in Halloween. So the band was actually formed by Andy, Dennis Ward, Costa Zafuru and Alfred Koffler. And they gained their first contract by winning a music magazine Metal Hammer's newcomer competition. But in 1994, Andy left to join Halloween and was replaced by David Redman, who's an English singer. They've been known as the Pinkies, and they became a 5-piece when Yul Retnor was hired to support the neuropathic guitar player Alfred Koller. As I've said, they have released 12 albums. Now, the only ones I'd really heard were the ones that Andy was on, so I'd never really listened to anything past Andy Derry. So this was really good, and I've quite enjoyed it, and I've sort of found other stuff by the band that I like. There isn't really a bad album, in all honesty. So let's crack on. So coming in at number 12, we've got the 4th album, and it was the first album with the new singer David Redman, and it came out in 1995, and it is called Change. So on here is David Redman on vocals, Alfred Koffler on guitar, Dennis Ward on the bass, Costa Zafuru on drums. Guest players, we've got David A on keyboards and Bateke on percussion. First track on here is a little number called Funny Words. It's got some nice melodic sounds. I mean, Alfred Koffler is a pretty cool guitarist. Some nice work from him on that track. Then we have Light of Day, another good guitar solo. But the track's a little bit different from what they had been doing, as I will say. Then we have Change. This is quite funky instead of heavy metal, but once again it has got a good guitar solo from Alfred. Yesterday's is okay, it's not the best track. 2 hours, got a great bass line from Dennis on this, but not heavy enough. It's too melodic. Something I Said, best track on the album. Love this. It's got some rolling drums from Costas. Very, very good. Only the Good, it just lacks something, I don't know. Then they do a version of T-Rex's 20th Century Boy, and I wish they hadn't. Shall we say that? Queen Bee, lots of riffs in this, but it sounds a little hollow, which is a shame because it has got some killer riffs from Alfred. Stretch the Truth, a great guitar solo. Apart from that, nothing that really rang bells with me. New Control, I just don't like this song. It doesn't sound heavy metal one bit. Total turnaround. And the last song, Freak Show, not particularly good, a bit of a filler. The album's called Change by not by name but by nature. This is quite a turnaround. It's a little bit limp, to say the least. There are some good tracks on it, but it hasn't got the same grunt as before. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 5 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 11 is the 5th album from 1997, and it's called Food for Thought. We've got David Alfred Dennis Costa. Additionals on here, we've got Achim Richt Helt on keyboards, Peter M. Tinger on timpani as well. First track on here is called Snap. Good vocal from David. He's a very good singer. This has got a little bit more grunt. You know, the next album on, they've gone back to a little bit more grunt. It's not too bad. Big Shot. It's okay, but the highlight of this is Dennis Ward's bass line. It's really groovy. Then we have Anger. My favourite track on the album. Probably the best track that David sang on for, you know, it's really good. I like that. Digging Through the Past, it's a ballad, and it's probably another great, it's a great vocal from David on that. Not a bad track either. Better Days, it's a really good track, but it just doesn't fit on the album. It's not heavy metal enough for this band in my books. Until I Wait, it's really good. That's more like it. A little bit of grunt in it than they do a bit limp-wristed version of We Will Rock You by Queen. Dead Man Screamed, one of the heaviest on the album. Really good track. I do like that one. Some great guitar work from Alfred on that. Pass You By, bit of a filler track. Not very interesting for me at all. Other Side, it's a good song, but it needs to be a little bit more heavier. Fly On, again, it just doesn't fit on here. It's not rocky enough. Sorry, bit of a filler track. It's not very good. Down My Way, it's nice enough, not enough heavy enough on it. This is a better album than David's first. There are a few more heavier tracks on, but it's still a long way off from the sound that they did eventually go back into. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 5.3. Okay, coming in at number 10, we have the 10th album, released in 2007, and it's called Intensity. And it's got in number 10 and then SITY. And it's the first album that featured Yul Retnor to celebrate 20 years of making records. So it's David, Alfred, I don't know how they pronounce that, Dennis and Costa. First track on here is Children of the Dawn. Very strange cut. It's got like a machine gun fire chanting sort of a chorus from a village in South Africa. And then you get this great rolling drums from Costa. Absolutely stunning track when it goes into the track. Then we have a track called No Way Out. Love the echo on this, the guitar work. The two guitars in it now sound really rich, really good. Crossfire, good track. The twin guitar works. Great vocal from David. He's, you know, he really has gone into the role. I'm Not Afraid. It's okay. Not the best track on the album. A New Religion, great track. The backing vocals are the highlight. You know, David's doing a great job on vocals, but the backing vocals really give this some extra grunt. Then we have The Hour of Freedom, which is my favourite track on this album. It's got a really great bass line, and the interplay on the guitars is super. Stop the Madness, solid track, great bass line from Dennis, holds the whole thing together. Desert Land is next. Short little filler track with some nice keyboard sounds on it, which goes straight into a track called Out of This World. Second favourite track. Costa's drumming on this is brilliant. Them hitting hard hi-hats sound great, solid. It's just a state of mind. It's a radio friendly sort of track with some terrible keyboards on it. Want to hear you rock? A little bit wishy-washy in places, but then it really rumps up into a great rock track. Absolutely killer track in the end. It was started bad but ended good. My Darkest Hour, my second favourite track on here. The riffs, it's proper heavy metal. Let's rock, as they say. Great vocal from David. And the last track is Last Train to Nowhere. The keyboard sound isn't right. Get rid of the keyboards and it'll be a good track. It's a funny old album. It's got lots going on. Some absolute killer rockers. 3 or 4 tracks don't belong here. It's still a little bit poppy, but I think the adding of 2 guitars was good. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 5.5. Okay, coming in at number 9, the 8th studio from 2001, and it is called Endangered. We have got David Redman, Alfred Koffler on guitars, Dennis Ward and Costa on the drums. So you get this sort of intro, a typical heavy metal intro, dramatic, everything's going on, which goes into a track called Shout. It's a bit rock and rolly. It's okay. It's not brilliant, but it's okay. Promised Land. Now this is really melodic, and I love melodic rock. It's my second favourite track on here. The guitar work from Dennis on the bass is good. Alfred's guitar solo is pretty good on it. Very, very good track. Trust Me, the Wise Man. The rolling drums from Costa, and this is brilliant. I love that sort of rolling drums, the double bass drums. It's pretty good. Don't Need Your Touch, very generic. It's all right. It's not bad. It's just a generic rock track. He Took the World. My favourite track on this one, it's just dominated by Dennis's bass line, and everyone sort of clings around that bass line and puts a very good effort in. Enslaved. The drumming needs a bit more gritty. It's got a great double bass drum, but the rest of the drum doesn't seem to, needs to have a little bit more behind it. In My Dreams, solid enough track, nothing special. High as a Mountain, solo on it is pretty amazing with a great bass line. Shadows of Time, solid stuff. It's a real dramatic sound. Some nice guitar licks on that one as well. Then we have a version of The Who's Pinball Wizard, and it's not bad. It's a little bit heavy in places, but it's pretty good. One Time Is Not Enough. It's one of those, it's the last track on the album. It is, it's doesn't seem to be there. Doesn't need to be there really. It's not a bad album. It's got some really good tracks on it. Bit of a mixed bag for me. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 5.6. Okay, coming in at number 8 is the debut album. Released in 1989, and it's just called Pink Cream 69. So it's got Andy Derry on the vocals, Alfred Koffler guitars, Dennis Ward bass, and Costa Zafri on synth drums and keyboards. Take Those Tears. Great vocal from Andy. I love Andy. When he went to Halloween, I think he's got a great voice. The only thing about this, it needs a little bit more beef behind it. Sugar for Love, great track. The bass line from Dennis is brilliant. Another great vocal from Andy. Super stuff. Rolling Down the Thunder, I really like this, but the drums are a little bit weak, to say the least. The song itself is brilliant, but it just needs a little bit more grunt in the drums. One Step Into Paradise, a great vocal from Andy. You can understand why Halloween wanted him. He's got a great vocal. He sings these sort of songs wonderfully. Still does to this day. Close Your Eyes. It's not a bad song. Great vocal from Andy. But my favourite track is Welcome to the Night. It's got some great guitar licks from Alfred. Absolutely brilliant. Proper fasty metal from the band. Party Maker. I think the drums need to be a little bit more louder, but the rest of the band are on fire. Hit the Bottom Row, some great riffs on this. Then we have Parasite, love the drumming on this. It sounds like a little Parasite sounds effects, the drumming. Second favourite track on here, killer track. I Only Want to Be With You, more generic rock, and it's solid. Now, don't get me wrong, I think this is a really good album. I've heard this one, of course, because when Andy joined Halloween. I think the only criticism, the drumming needs a little bit more beef behind it, but there's some really strong songs on this. And I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 6 out of 10. Time for a drink before my voice gets groggy in the mornings. That's better. Okay, coming in at number 7, we have the 7th album. It came out in the year 2000, and it's called Sonic Dynamite. This has got David on it, Alfred, Dennis, and Costa. First track on here is called A Passage to Hope. No intros as such, a little bit of acoustic guitar and strings even. Very well, and it goes straight into the Sea of Madness, nothing to do with that Iron Maiden. It's got some really great riffs in that, great vocal from David. Followed by The Moon, my favourite track from this album. One of his best vocals with the band, very solid. The drumming's excellent from Costa. The title track, Sonic Dynamite, it's very good, it's very consistent, some great drumming on this from Costa. I love that track. The Spirit, it's okay, it's a very pleasant sort of rocky track. Some great vocals on that one. Speed of Light, I love the middle of this where all of a sudden it's a nice gentle, not a gentle pace, but quite a rhythm, and then all of a sudden, bang, it speeds up. But no flaws in it, absolutely brilliant. Waiting for the Dawn, my second favourite track. Dennis is on fire with that bass. It's got a lot of grunt and a lot of dirty, riffy sort of sound. Let the Thunder Reside, a bit of a ballad thing. I don't think David sings the ballads as good as Andy, but it's not a bad track. Lost in Illusions is the next track. It's a solid track, some great riffs, and vocal from David is fantastic. When he sings the heavier stuff, he's got a sort of solid vocal. Face of an Angel, it's all right. Just normal. No, not very memorable, just ordinary. Shattered Prophecy, I love the drum and bass. Andy and Costa are really going for it. That engine room is working well on that. Spread Your Wings, I do like this track. My favourite on the album. It's a great vocal, it's a lovely harmonies, and it's a very melodic, and I like it. Okay, that was the last track. This is a pretty solid album. Very enjoyable. So I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 6.3. Okay, coming in at number 6, we have the 11th album, and it was came out in 2013, and it's called Ceremonial, and it's the first album with the new drummer Chris Schmidt, who replaced Costa. So this is David, Alfred, Yule, Dennis, and the new guy Chris Schmidt on the drums. Land of Confusion, nothing to do with Genesis. It's a great track. The richness of them two guitarists, Alfred and Yule, really working well together. I do like that. Wasted Years, not to be confused with Iron Maiden. It's the best track on here. Some great drumming here from the new guy Chris, absolutely killer. You wouldn't you think it was Costa. It's that good. No change there. Brilliant track. Then we have Special, which is a lovely melodic track. The guitar work between Alfred and Yule is brilliant. It's an absolutely stunning little track. Find Your Soul. Nice drumming from Chris. Nice rolling sound on it. Excellent track. The Tide. The twin guitar works on this. Gives this an extra depth. Great vocal from David. Then we have Big Machine. Another riffy track. Again, Dennis was applying a great steady bass line. Let the Thunder Roll. It's one of the weaker tracks on this one. It just doesn't sound right. Then Wrong from Right, solid track. I've got some good riffs in that. Sort of a nice little guitar piece. I don't know if it's Yule or Alfred doing the solo on it, but it sounds great. Passage of Time. Once again, the riffs are fantastic. The licks are good. I Came to Rock. It's all right. Just that typical I Came to Rock sort of thing. King for One Day. Very melodic. I like this. There's some catchy tune, some nice guitar riffs. And the last track, Superman. It's a little bit different. The time signature on the drumming from Chris is brilliant, and it's got some. I think you got Yule and Alfred sort of playing off each other. Very, very good. Okay, a real good album. Good debut for Chris on the drums. There's not much difference between his style and Costa's, to be quite honest. Yule and Alfred sound great together on this. It's a very good album, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6.5. Okay, coming in at number 5, we have the most current album that came out in 2017, and it's called Headstrong. So Dennis, Chris, Alfred, Yule, David. Keyboards arranged by Alfred on 5 tracks. We Bow Down to None. Great opening riff. Oh, in comes Chris on the drums. So got a great bass line. Absolutely killer opening track. Then we have Walls Come Down, my favourite track. This is proper heavy metal, German style. Bass, driving riffs, great drumming, great vocals, top draw stuff. Unite and Divide. Chris's drumming is on fire. Very tight drummer. Excellent. Then we have No More Fear. Love the guitar work on this. Having the 2 guitarists has given them a little bit more way of doing things. I just love this. The drumming's great. Excellent. Man of Sorrow. Very melodic. I like that ploddy sound to it. The solo is pretty good. Path of Destiny. Once again, the drumming is from Chris is brilliant. The guitar licks are just loads of little licks all through the track. Then we have Vagrant of the Night. Typical heavy metal ballad, really. It's okay. Bloodsucker. Brilliant track. Just a very solid, speedy metalcore song. Brilliant. Whistleblower. Another Dennis Ward thundering bass line. And even gets a little bit of a solo on there as well. Excellent track. The Other Man. Melodic. I love these melodic songs. Some nice guitar work from both Yule and Alfred. What I have noticed, though, the band have now really emerged into this twin guitar sound. This is a pretty decent album. I think this is one of the best albums they put out as this lineup, and I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 6.6. Okay, coming in at number 4 is the 6th album from 1998, and it features guest appearances at singers. We've got DC Keeper of Royal Hunt and Ralph Sheepers of Primal Fear. So we got David Redmond, Alfred Coffer, Dennis Ward and Costa Zafuri. We've also got some Sandy Compos on backing vocals on Gone Again, and over the fire we've got DC Cooper and Ralph Sheepers. So the first track is called Shame. Good opening track, some great drumming from Costa, great bass line as ever from Dennis. My favourite track though is Stranger in Time. The guitar work here from Alfred is absolutely mind-blowing. What a very underrated guitar player. He can get through that up that fretboard so quickly. It's really good to listen to. Break the Silence. I love the drumming at the start of this. Very solid, and it sort of takes the song all the way through. Electrified. There's some really interesting stuff on this. A bit of electronics. You go, what's going on here? But then in comes them riffs. It's quite good. Over the Fire. Really good with the guest singers. Some fine vocals on this. It's a second favourite track. It's a really excellent track. We got Losing My Faith. There's a little bit of electronic start on the keyboards here. I don't know what's going on there, but it turns into a great track with a super tone on the bass line. Another killer track. Higher Kind of Life. Another of my favourites off this album. I think it's to do with Dennis's bass line. I just really like Dennis Ward as a bass player. Burn Your Soul. Nice little rough riffs to start. The rest of the band come in. Solid track all the way through. Rocket Ride is probably the weakest track on here. I don't know if it was we need another track quickly. It just doesn't ring anything. But the worst track is the next one. I think, I don't know if they were running out of ideas, but it's just very filler, not very memorable. And then Gone Again, another ballad. It's okay. The rockers are excellent on here. They really fire on all guns. I think the ballads are a little bit insipid, but I ignore them. The actual album is absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 3. It's the 9th album called Thunderdome. David Redman, Alfred Coffer, Dennis Ward and Costa Zafori, with Gunter Verno on keyboards on a couple of tracks. First track is a little intro called The Last Stand. Typical heavy metal sort of intro, lots of sound effects, crash bang, you know that, and then you don't know what's coming in, and you get Thunderdome, and what a track. I really think it's got a brilliant solo from Alfred. It's just a terrific thing. Great vocals from David. Brilliant track. Gods Come Together. Costa's really rolling them drums today on this one. Dennis is on fire. It's just absolutely killer track all the way through. Carnaby Road. It's a melodic track. It's a great vocal from David. It's terrific. Here I Am. It's too good. It's got a nice melodic sound to it. It's just a solid track. Some great guitar work from Alfred on that one as well. That was Yesterday, a good ballad. Probably, I would say, David's best effort on ballads. Absolutely brilliant. And it's got an excellent guitar solo on it as well, which is brilliant. Shelter, another melodic tune. It's just very, very good. Nice sort of melodic guitar tones on that. Retro Lullaby, my favourite track on here. The rhythm is brilliant. You got this little bit of keyboard that underlines it, and it really works. Then they do a cover of the Knacks' My Sharona, and it's great. Costa's got the drumming down to a T. It's a little bit more heavier than the Knacks version. It's a fantastic go at it, and you don't get many covers of that. Then we get Deep As I Am, industrial sort of drumming on this. It's got a real metallic sound to it. The guitar effects are really good. And I love Dennis's, I don't know what they've done to his voice, but they're putting an effect on it and it really works. Another Wrong Makes Right. Great track. Rolling guitar riffs, rolling drums. You can't get any better. It's proper speedy rock metal. See Your Face. Very commercial. There's always one commercial song on some of these albums, and it works, so it's okay. And the last track is Carved in Stone. It's a gentle song, and it's got some lovely guitar tones on it. Okay, a very good album. I think this is the best album that David has done with Pink Cream 69. His vocals on this are just superb. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.3. Okay, coming in at number 2, we have the second album released in 1991, and it's called One Size Fits All. And it's Andy Derry, Alfred Coffra, Dennis Ward, and Costa Zafori on drums. Now, when Andy joined Halloween, he began playing the song Where the Eagle Learns to Fly. And I have got live versions of this, so there's one track on here I'd already knew before I listened to this album, which I'll soon listen to this back then after Andy Derry left the band. So the first track is called Living My Life for You. What a song. It's a great ballady sort of thing. He's got, you know, starting an album with a ballad is pretty impressive, but Andy's got that voice to do it, and it's a great track. Talk to the Moon, another fine drum from Costa, a great vocal from Andy. On fire with that one. He's Gone Crazy. Great guitar work, great drumming, fine vocal again from Andy. Do You Like It Like That? It's melodic. The guitar work is good. It's super. Once again, you can tell why he fits into Halloween. Ballerina, brilliant. Written by Andy, and it's just, this track could have been done by Halloween. It really could. It's got everything that I like about some of the melodic Halloween tracks. I love this. It's an absolutely brilliant song. Signs of Danger, the opening riff and the drum is brilliant. And then comes Dennis with a hooky bass line. Walking Out to Heaven, my second favourite track. I love the middle bit. The guitar solo goes up a notch. Brilliant, brilliant track. Stray Kid comes next, solid track. Great vocal. Then we have Piggy Back Bitch. Alfie's guitar work is fantastic, but it's got the brilliant bass line from Dennis. Then we have Where the Eagle Learns to Fly. I can't remember which live Halloween album it's on, but this is one of my favourite tracks, and it's my favourite track on this album. I've always liked this from the first time I heard it, and there's not much difference, I think, in the way that Pink Cream 69 play or Halloween on that live album. It's just a fantastic track, and I think it's just down to Andy's fine vocal. Yeah, this was much better than the debut album, especially there's some cracking songs on. They really got it right on there. The pitch is right. It's got one of my favourite Andy Derry songs on it as well. It's just got a little bit more richness than that debut, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. But my number one album was actually Andy's final album. Came out in 1993, and it's Games People Play. So it's Andy, Alfred, Dennis and Costa. First track on here is called Face the Mirror. Absolute killer opening track. One of my favourite opening tracks on any Pink Cream 69. It's that tremendous vocal from Andy. The driving riffs from Alfred just makes it a fantastic track. Then we go for a nice melodic track called Way Down. The interplay between Dennis and Alfred on this is superb. Backed up again by another fantastic vocal from Andy. Keep Your Eye on the Twisted. Dennis's great bass line really shines on this. The riffs come in, it's fantastic. Then we have Some Days I Sail. One of my favourite ballads on this. There's a little bit of keyboard on it. It's another stunning vocal from Andy. Shattered. Great track. Guitar work from Alfred. Absolutely top drawer. Monday Again, my favourite track on here. I think this is one of my favourite tracks by Pink Cream 69. It's that rolling drum from Costa that I love. These drummers that have this double bass, and how they keep that timing is fantastic. You know, I'm all 6s and 7s. I couldn't do it, and these drummers do it day in, day out. Fantastic track. Dying Sentry, a beautiful song. A great bass line with it as well. Woof. Get your head round that one. Then Till You're Mine. Lots of great little licks. Some great drumming from Costa on that. Still Alive, a great track, and it's got my favourite Alfred guitar solo on it. Another fine vocal, of course. Down Your Luck, Dennis is that defines the bass on this, and then you've got the vocal of Andy is superb. Then we have this little instrumental of 59 seconds, just sort of thing. Then we have Condemnation, great track, a great vocal from Andy. Then we have Don't Let It All Come Down. It's an acoustic song. It's really nice. What a way to end this album. I think this is their best album. It's the best album that Andy did. I think it's the best album of the musicians with, you know, that have been in the band since the beginning. It's brilliant, and it's, you know, I think this band would have gone on to big success anyway, even if Andy hadn't left. But he was, I must admit, he is my favourite singer from this. I think these two albums, the first album was okay, but the second and third albums were super. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.6. So there we go. If you like Halloween, go and check out these, because they're in the same vein, especially the Andy Derry albums. I really enjoyed listening to all these albums, and I have put some on my iPod now, so my collection has grown, as I say, a little. Okay, that's all for today. We'll be back tomorrow though, and it's a little bit of a different day. We're first starting off with Pick and Mix, because there's no rounds in Battle Royale, because we've done the groups. So tomorrow I'm going to have a look at, in the camera's view, and we're going to look at ELO's Live at Wembley that was recorded back in the, was it 77, 78, something like that. Bit of controversial one this is. There's lots of things on that. We'll discuss that tomorrow. And then when Dave's got up and got himself in good order, we'll be doing a reviewing the group stages of Battle Royale 2, telling you who we would have voted for in that round. And then tomorrow night is live stream. So have a good day. The sun has definitely come out now since we started. Might see a bit of reflection on the poster, but that's the only thing in the mornings. The sun shines on here. So have a great day, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.